What's good, everybody? Welcome back to episode 7 of the Hoop Life Productions podcast. I'm Chance Fry here with my brother, AJ Hepler.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
So, a quick note for you guys. From this point on, our episodes are going to be a little bit shorter so we can get more out to you guys and just better editing in general. We think that's the best way to grow our channel so far. We've grown a little bit, but there's definitely a lot of things that we can improve on. So, yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. I mean, I work 40 hours a week, and I want to make sure we get the best videos out possible. So the easiest way to do that is to shorten the length of them, and the editing will be a lot better.
Yeah, for sure. And my life's gonna get a lot busier soon, but I'm sure I'll be able to make it work. I'm gonna be starting school again and practice and all that good stuff. So yeah, but we'll make it work because we love doing this and we love getting these videos out to you guys. So
For sure.
So this video is recorded on the 15th of January and it should be out the 19th. So, I'm sure you already know we're going to talk about the James Harden trade. Everybody's talked about it. Every
trade?
YouTuber. Yeah, I mean, everybody's talked about it. Everybody's posted on their YouTube. But yeah, in case you've been living under the rock, it was so pretty much the Rockets got like 20 different things, and every other team in it got like their pieces. But
Yeah, I mean, they got everything, and they got James Harden. So we can start with the Rockets, obviously. Do you want to go over the trade first?
I'll go over the entire trade, all four teams. So the Rockets came away with Victor Oladipo, Dante Exum, Rodion Kurucs, three unprotected Brooklyn first rounders in 2022, 2024, and 2026, and the Milwaukee first round pick unprotected in 2022. And then they got 4 first round pick swaps with the Nets as well in 2021, 23, 25, and 27.
Jeez.
And if you're not familiar with what pick swaps are, so let's say it's 2025. The Rockets have the Brooklyn Nets first rounder that year. If they were to have a better record, if the Rockets were to have a better record than the Nets, then they would get the Nets 2025 first round pick. Maybe it's in the top 5 or the top 10, you never know, but they got a lot of value for sure for Harden, and if Oladipo can stay long term, which that's a big question, but
Yeah, we'll get to that.
yeah, if he does stay, this is quite a haul for the Rockets in general. And then for the Nets, it's pretty simple. They just got James Harden. That's all they needed. And then the Pacers came away with Karis LeVert in a second rounder, and then the Cavs got Jared Allen and Taurean Prince for next to nothing. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say what?
Yeah.
Like how did the Cavs end up getting Jared Allen for Dante Exum in a late first rounder?
And yeah, let's talk about that. Like, for them to get Jared Allen for Dante Exum, who might be out of the league next year because his contract's expiring, and the Milwaukee first round pick came from them, I believe. So it's unprotected, but Milwaukee's going to be anywhere from 25 to 30. We don't know yet, but that's probably where they'll end up because they've been there the last few years. But the Cavs getting Jared Allen doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but I'm telling you, a year from now, it'll make a lot of sense.
Yeah, they have big log jam right now, but Jared Allen's really the only one that is probably going to be there because he's young, unlike the others. So
Yeah.
we can.
But yeah, he'll be the center for the next 5 years because you think about it, Drummond's expiring, and you've already heard talks of them not wanting to bring him back. I'm sure that's why they brought Jared Allen in, but it'll be interesting to see if they can get any value for Drummond. I mean, Detroit wasn't able to last year, and his contract is for sure expiring now, so I don't know if they'll be able to get much for him. So
Yeah, but I mean, that would require Detroit to have a good front office to get something good out of him. So that's probably what happened there. but yeah.
Our old GM was no Troy Weaver. I'll tell you that.
Definitely no Troy Weaver.
Choosing Mason Plum over Christian Wood. Yeah, let's move on to the Pacers. They came away with Karis LeVert in the second round, and I really like this move for them because we knew Oladipo wasn't going to come back, and so for them to get more of a long-term player in Karis LeVert, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, if you listen to our last episode, my New Year's resolution for the Brooklyn Nets was for Karis LeVert to play the Manu Ginobili role, but turns out he won't be playing any role for them. He's going to have a much bigger role in Indiana, and I think it's good for Indiana and him. Just there was definitely a sense in Brooklyn that they wanted obviously to win right now, and that I don't know, I feel like KD and Kyrie had this like sense that they couldn't do that with young guys. I don't know, I felt like the young guys got shoved away a lot. I feel like that could end up hurting them, but we'll get more into that.
We've seen that in the past where teams aren't able to win championships with a bunch of like 23 to 25-year-olds. It's usually vets that are in their prime have already proven themselves. So for them to get Karis LeVert, they can pair him alongside Malcolm Brogdon in the backcourt, and then T.J. Warren, who's injured right now, but he'll be back at some point this year, and then Sabonis, who is the most underrated player in the league in my opinion.
Sabonis is MVP candidate right now. I don't care what people say.
For
He's
sure.
up there.
And then Miles Turner, who's been in trade talks, but at the end of the day, he's producing right now, averaging 4 blocks a game. So
yeah, he's defensive player of the year right now.
So yeah, there's really not much of a drop off, especially on the offensive end when you're going from Victor Oladipo to Karis LeVert. Like they can both drop 20 to 30 on any given night, but
offensively, it's an increase for the Pacers right now, just because Oladipo was still getting back into the groove, So
yeah, defensively, Karis LeVert has always been kind of in question, but I think they've got enough around him where it won't really stand
Malcolm
out.
Brogdon's really solid on
defense. To where it won't stand out as much as it did in Brooklyn, because Brooklyn doesn't have defense in general.
Yeah, so they went and got James Harden.
So yeah, let's go. This is the big team everybody's talking about. They get one-time MVP and 6 to 8 time All-Star. I don't know what else he's done.
Perennial All-Star, MVP candidate.
For sure, every year. Yeah, for sure.
One of the best
averaging 35
scorers.
points a game.
Yeah.
But I mean, they paired him alongside Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and I'll ask you this: do you think they win a ring in the next 3 to 5 years? Do you think they get it done?
It's hard, because do I think they get it this year? No. And that has a lot to do with Kyrie Irving. Like, I feel like they brought in Harden. Like, they wanted to pull the trigger on Harden, or they wanted Harden obviously, who doesn't want James Harden, ever since he came out and said he wanted to go there.
Yeah.
But I feel like Kyrie being Kyrie like he has recently, and basically just not being on the team, helped them pull the trigger, and they're like, okay, we got to make sure we got someone with KD.
Right.
With all three of those guys, there's obviously a better chance, but with how great the young guys throughout the league are and how much they're coming up, like a team with Dallas and all those teams, I would say no, but I'm not confident.
If they don't get a ring, let's just say this is the biggest disaster trade in probably the history of the NBA, and it's funny because the
number two is Brooklyn. With
the other
Boston.
one was Brooklyn, yeah.
With who was that? KG, Pierce. What else was that? I think that was it.
I think it was Jason Terry, maybe, and they were all clearly past their prime.
Yeah.
That's how the Celtics ended up getting Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart, I think, was the Nets pick too. So that's like their core right now. So it's kind of crazy how that all ends up. But there's so many questions with the Nets. You're putting 3 of the highest usage rate guys in the league on one team, and there was already questions defensively with this team before Harden came, and now you're bringing Harden, who historically doesn't buy in on the defensive end.
Yeah, I mean he had a decent season defensively last year, but you don't expect that every year. And if James Harden's one of your defensive catalysts, then you're not stopping anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Their best defender was Jared Allen, and he's gone. So
yeah, another big question for them is who's going to be the other guys that are going to kind of contribute in, because 3 guys are not going to win you a title. I don't care.
It's got to be.
They're not going to need much, but they're just going to need guys out there that can defend more than those 3 do and knock down shots.
This trade would have been look so much better for Brooklyn if Dinwiddie wasn't out.
Yeah.
Because they would have that guy right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guy that can lead the second unit. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get what you're saying.
Yeah, but now with him out, I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty clear what the lineup's going to be. It's going to be Kyrie and Harden in the backcourt, Durant at the four.
I don't think it's clear. We got to see if Kyrie Irving wants to play basketball. But
Okay, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Assuming this is like fully healthy team. It'd be Kyrie and Harden in the backcourt, Durant at the four, Joe Harris spacing the floor at the three, and then DeAndre Jordan, who I more like as a backup at this point in his career, but
I really like DeAndre Jordan as a reserve.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then that second unit is Bruce Brown, who I loved, and I was disappointed when the Pistons traded him, but he's so good on the defensive end. He'll be like one of the only guys that will buy in on defense, and come playoff time, he could be really valuable for them. Like
he's starting right now, isn't he?
Yeah, with Kyrie out.
With Kyrie out, and I think he had a pretty good
Harden
game the
not
other day.
technically on the team yet, but
yeah.
And then guys like Jeff Green, who's proven to be a really good role player in the league.
Just one of those guys that you want. You're just always on a good team.
And then Nicholas Claxton, the 2019 first-round pick, I want to say, he's gonna step into a bigger role now with Jared Allen gone. He's gonna have to like somewhat fill what Jared Allen was doing for them, like being a rebounder, lob catcher, protect the rim off the bench. But
he's a floor stretcher. Like in college he was.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of him still.
Yeah, that's what they drafted him. He was like a 3 and I don't want to say D. I don't shoots threes. That's all I can tell you about Nicholas Claxton. But
yeah, we haven't seen much from him to like give you the whole spiel. But Landry Shamet, he's gonna have to start knocking down shots because that's pretty much all he's been good for in his career.
Yeah. He did it really well in Philly, and he kind of had a disappointing year last year. When the Clippers got him, I was like, oh, this is going to be huge for them, and he didn't really play his role the way we thought he would. So I haven't seen much of him yet. We'll have to see.
Right, and there's a couple more guys to mention with Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot. He's kind of rejuvenated his career in Brooklyn, and he's figured out the three-point shot, and that's really what they're going to need from him. It's like hit the three-point shot, space the floor, and play some defense. And then another guy that's worth noting is Tyler Johnson. He's shown flashes in his career to be like somewhat of a productive role player, but that's yet to be seen in Brooklyn.
I was watching Undisputed the other day, and Skip, as soon as Harden goes to Brooklyn, his whole thing is, oh, you better watch out, LeBron, and all that. And he was like giving him reasons why they are going to be better than the Lakers, and his two biggest reasons were Tyler Johnson and TLC. And I just thought that was funny. He was like, I think his quote was, "Do the Lakers have a Tyler Johnson? I don't think they do." Yeah. No, they have a Dennis Schroeder, but
right.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of depth, and we'll see how that works for them. They have a lot of firepower in the starting lineup, but as you know, in the playoffs, the strength in numbers always comes out, and that's
like
always
the biggest
important.
question is like how locked in and like how are these guys going to fare against the Los Angeles Lakers team, who's the clear favorite to win the title and for sure win the West, but there could be a lot of bad matchups there, like putting Joe Harris or Kevin Durant trying to guard Anthony Davis. I guess there's somewhat of a size difference there with Kevin Durant and Anthony Davis, but it's not ridiculous. But more of it's like in the weight.
Oh,
you know
for
what
sure.
I'm saying? Like, Anthony Davis in the post would probably body Kevin Durant, and that's what the Lakers were doing last year. Their front court was just such a mismatch with other teams that they were playing.
If DeAndre Jordan was the same player he was even 3 years ago, like I'd be a lot more confident about their defense down low. Mm-hmm. But he's not. So
he's definitely past his prime, but like he still does some things out there. Like to be a starter in the league still is it means something. But yeah, let's move on to the Rockets. We've kind of talked about them already, but let's talk about like this lineup that they're going to be playing most likely. So the John Wall, Victor Oladipo backcourt is pretty good. I think Daniel House fits in at the 3 spot, kind of space the floor and play some defense. Same thing with PJ Tucker at the 4, and then Christian Wood, who has been predictably breaking out this season, averaging like 24 and 12 rebounds. So.
Man, if only the team that had him would have known that. But
Well, yeah, we're gonna move on. But yeah,
but yeah, they I mean they also have, yeah, like you said the starting lineup, but they're also deep. Like they have Eric Gordon off the bench.
DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, Cousins. He's got to get in the groove. But hopefully him too. Ben McLemore had a decent season last year. He's coming off their bench. So we'll see.
Yeah, I forgot about him too.
Yeah.
They've got like so many wings that can shoot.
Yeah,
It's
they
crazy.
just have guys that.
They just
just
a lot of specialists.
Yeah.
For sure. Like
Yeah.
Daniel House, Jay Sean Tate, who I saw play at Ohio State, and I think he went undrafted, but like, I'm not sure where he came from, but like all of a sudden he's like,
He's a sniper.
yeah, he's in the lineup for the Rockets. And Sterling Brown, I remember him in his days for the Bucks. I saw him play the Pistons, and I think he was their starting.
He was
like their
a
2 or
two.
3? Yeah.
He was a 2 because Brogdon was at the 1 at the
Yeah,
time.
I thought he was pretty solid, and then last year they just didn't play him at all. So
Yeah.
I thought that was like low key a really good find for the Rockets. And then David Nwamba kind of does the same thing that those other 2 guys do. And then Rodion Kurucs, we're not sure what he is, but maybe he'll be something. And then Dante Exum, who will probably be out of the league by next year. But
Yeah. Man, Dante Exum, that's a depressing story, man. I was really high on him coming out of college.
when did he come out? Was it 2014?
It was Anthony Bennett year, so was that 2014?
Most people know him from the 2K15
The
or
showcase thing?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he was nice. I don't know.
In Australia.
Yeah.
Oh.
Here's my question about Houston. I had this argument yesterday. Do you think that they are a contender for the playoffs or no with this team?
I think they're a contender to make the playoffs, but they're not going to do it. I don't think they do anything in the playoffs.
Yeah.
With the LA teams, the Nuggets are starting to find their form again. The Blazers, there's just like, I think there's just 5 to 6 teams that are clearly like a higher level than them. I don't know what you think about that, but
Well, I was thinking, so John Wall obviously runs the offense, but is Christian Wood, can we say now he's the number 1 guy for this team? Like, do you put
we
him?
haven't seen.
Or we
I'm not sure.
seeing enough?
I can't say for sure yet because we haven't seen Wood and Wall play
Yeah.
together without James Harden. Because obviously, if James Harden's on your team,
Well, yeah.
he's going to be the guy. But I really think they can split it. To be honest, like they can both be kind of this number 1 option. I personally would go with John Wall because
Yeah. I mean,
it's like a guard-driven league, and Christian Wood can still be this guy that spaces the floor and get a bucket for you at any time. Like
of course.
you can, like this is the NBA. You can have 2 guys average 25 plus. We've seen it before, and then Oladipo has shown that he can be a 25 plus guy though, too.
Yeah.
So
What was it? This is a team that I always come back to think about, but Minnesota, when they had Levine their last year, I think Wiggins, Levine, and Cat all averaged 20 that season. That was crazy. That was a fun team to watch, even though they sucked. But so yeah, they could both absolutely be 20-point guys. Shout out to John Wall though, man. Like, it's this rejuvenation. Like,
out 2 years and he looks like he hasn't missed a
I
step.
don't think we've ever seen this before. We've seen guys like Westbrook who had his knee injury, and then he came back the next year and was dominant. KD looks great, but he's been out. I mean, John Wall's been out for almost.
It wasn't just the Achilles. It was, I forget exactly what it was, but it was another severe injury.
Especially because he relied so much on his athleticism. Like, you saw what happened to a guy.
It looks like he still has it for the most part.
Yeah, he definitely has. What I was gonna say, you saw what happened with Derrick Rose. Like, once he lost his athleticism, it really hurt him. John Wall, he looks like he's lost his step to an extent, but he's definitely changed his game. Like, his pace is different. And I was watching him, just the way he plays the game is more mature. And
Yeah, I haven't been able to catch a game, but I will have to for sure.
yeah,
But yeah, Houston, I think they're just a team that squeaks into the playoffs and ends up playing one of those 2 LA teams. But let's see, we didn't talk about the potential lineups for the Cavs and the Pacers, and that'll be like the last couple things that we talk about before we put an end to this episode. But The Cavs. I mean, you're looking at Garland, Sexton, Okoro, Kevin Love, and Drummond. We're assuming this is fully healthy, which they're not right now. Garland and Kevin Love are currently on the injury reserve, but they could definitely. They were surprising teams when they were fully healthy, but obviously since then they've had the injury bug. But I don't know what you think about them.
I know that Cleveland has to get Drummond out of there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's a mutual thing. I don't think Drummond wants to be there either. I don't know how they feel about Love, but I just think they got to go complete youth movement, get everybody out of there. Mm-hmm. But when Garland was on the floor, so yeah, him and Sexton have been really impressive when they play.
Yeah, so. Once they trade Kevin Love and Drummond, I don't think they'll get much value for either of those guys because of like their contract situations. But going forward, you have this core four, I would say, of Garland, Sexton, Okoro, and Jarrett Allen, and that's something for the future for sure. Like that's a better young core than a lot of teams can say they have.
And just I guess prayers or whatever out to Kevin Porter Jr. because when he played, he looked really nice, and apparently he's been out for mental health reasons. They said so. Whatever's going on with him, hope they get that straightened up and he can go out there and hoop again. Cause
I remember him in the 2019 draft coming out of USC and
yep.
I was looking for him to like go off early because I want to say he was like the first pick in the second round to the Cavs, and the Pistons had the pick and they traded it to the Cavs. That's the only reason I know this, but I think I want to say the Pistons gave up, or the Cavs gave up like 5 second rounders to get KPJ, and I was like, and I wanted the Pistons to take Kevin Porter Jr. But
it's funny you said it. Do you remember what his comparison was coming out of the draft?
Kevin Porter Jr.?
Yeah. Do you remember what his comparison was?
I don't.
It was Contavious Caldwell-Pope.
I don't miss him. I will say that. Like he's better off as a role player with LeBron. Yeah. I mean, everybody can play with LeBron. But.
Put me in the corner. But yeah. Yep.
Is that all you gotta say?
Well, there's not a lot much more to say about Kevin Porter Jr. Like if he can just get back on the court, then he'll help them a lot.
Yeah, he's another piece for sure. I can see him like being a really good scorer off the bench in his career, like kind of like a Jordan Clarkson-ish.
Yeah, shout out to him. Jordan Clarkson's hooping.
Yeah, on our Instagram and Facebook pages, I actually posted him as like the clear early favorite for 6th Man of the Year with Dinwiddie out and LeVert out.
I haven't really paid attention. You know,
he's
averaging like dropped.
Well, I'll assume that he has because the Knicks in general have dropped off.
Yeah.
Since the start, but Clarkson was averaging, I want to say it was 17 points, 4.5 rebounds. He only averages like 1.5 points because his role isn't to like play make, and then a steal a game. But like he's like perfect. He's like a perfect guy to have off the bench, and that's pretty much what I see Kevin Porter Jr. being in his career. So, and then the other guys in their second unit at the moment is Jarrett Allen, Chetty Osman, Larry Nance Jr., JaVale McGee, and Taurean Prince, who I don't see Osman. Okay, maybe Osman is a guy that they'll keep going forward, but I don't see Nance Jr., JaVale McGee, and Taurean Prince being long-term guys.
No, I mean, Larry Nance has bounced around for a while. I mean, he hasn't really bounced around. What, he's only played for the Lakers in Cleveland? Is that it?
He played for the Hawks.
The Hawks.
Yeah, he played for the Hawks too.
And he's just never been anything special.
I've actually heard that.
One post.
I've heard posts, or I've seen posts on Instagram and whatever social media that he's like really bad.
Really?
Like, yeah. Like, Nets fans are like, this guy's really terrible. And I haven't taken a real close look at him, but I don't know what the deal is. But apparently, fans think he's really bad. And he's on a pretty big contract.
I mean, he doesn't do much. Like, I know he's not a great defender. He doesn't space the floor.
He doesn't stand out in anything particular. But
looks like he just knows how to dunk, and that's.
But yeah.
One of those guys.
Yeah, for sure. Cleveland's got a nice little core going forward, but that leads into our last team, the Pacers, who we've talked about, who we forgot to get into their potential lineups.
Yeah.
Starting, I got Brogdon, LeVert, Warren, Sabonis, Turner.
Of course.
In 1 through 5, the Pacers have one of the deepest starting lineups in the league. All those guys
Deep.
are
They're deep
proven.
in general, man. They got the Holiday brothers off in the second unit.
Doug McDermott, T.J. McConnell,
Jeremy Lamb,
who's hurt, I want to say,
Yeah.
and then their first round pick from last year
Goga.
in Goga Batazzi.
I just want to see Goga play, and I want him to be good because I don't know if you remember the picture from the draft when he was side by side, there was
he was side by side with Zion.
Zion,
Yeah,
and all the reporters at Zion, and then there was Goga just to the side by
Watch
himself.
him be a 3-time MVP.
If he ends up becoming even an all-star, that picture is legendary. So
yeah, for sure.
this would be crazy to see. But
So yeah, I just want to see Indiana be healthy when the playoffs start, because the last 2 seasons were a wash in the playoffs because they didn't have their full lineup.
yeah,
I just think they could really make some noise in the East because they're just so deep.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I love this team, man. I had kind of a bold claim. I think them getting LeVert puts them in contention status in the East, right now.
Okay.
I think they're just as good as the Celtics, and they're better than Miami with the way that they're playing. This team goes up against Miami, I think.
do you think they beat Miami in the playoffs?
I think they're right there. They have more perimeter scoring than Miami. They're equal to them in terms of that. You see, as long as when they get TJ Warren back, that's a 20-point per game guy. Brogdon is playing like an all-star. Sabonis, if anyone matches up with Bam, it's Sabonis. With that said, if anyone matches up with Sabonis, it's Bam. So I think they're better than Miami. But that goes
But
either
do you
way.
remember them getting swept by Miami last year?
Yes, I know. The way they're playing right now, and I know it's really early on in the season, but last year, Miles Turner didn't average 4 blocks a game either. So we'll see how that goes.
I don't think 4 blocks a game keeps up, but
You don't think so?
no, that would be crazy. I think 3 is
3,
realistic,
yeah.
but I guess you'd never know. But yeah, that is gonna wrap it up for episode 7. We completely dissected the James Harden trade from all 4 teams' perspective: the Pacers, Cavs, Nets, and Rockets. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to drop a like, hit the subscribe button. As we are just starting out, we're starting to grow a little bit. So yeah, if you could help us out with that. We're also available on Facebook. We're Hoop Life Productions Podcast on Facebook, and on Instagram, we are Hoop Life Productions. And yeah, that's going to be it for episode 7. We'll see you guys in episode 8 on Friday.
You guys have a good one.